Great evening, everyone. And no, your clocks weren't up ahead today. I was just a little bit late, to be precise, 5 minutes late, almost exactly. The damn thing didn't want to go on. Despite I clicked go live, go live, go live. So I need to restart last minute everything. So guys, thank you so much for waiting on me. This week we're gonna be doing most of the week just trade setups. We're gonna be practicing everything that we learned, and I think this is gonna be a fantastic area where to start trading. Why? Because you already have seen what had happened in the markets. Well, then everything changes with a tweet, but also it seems like we could be into a retracement, right? So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, right? So I think that we are basically going for the breakout retest, for the breaking out of that huge trend line that we've been following along. And most of you guys already know what I'm talking about. Hey, Jay Violet, welcome. And well, then I think this could be an opportunity to look into a possible ranging scenario, right? We're also going to be going to do a little bit of an analysis today. Let's compare it to everything that we have learned and also apply that little trick of inverting the charts just to look for possible ends of flat positive continuation, right? So other than that, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and let me get started with you guys because you guys are the best part of the show. So let me get started with you with Kelvin. I don't know why I can no longer go all the way up, but Kelvin, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you were the very first one in here to say hello, and that I really appreciate it. We also have New Earth Guardian. What's going on? What is up? Welcome. We also have Alexander G. What is up, Alexander G? Great to have you here. Really appreciate you stopping by. Always appreciate when you stop in here to say hi. JR, what is up, my friend? How is it going? We also have JC Glue, and also we have Friend the Tank. Welcome, my friend. Thanks to stopping by. J Violet, double shout out for you, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping. So let's get it going because that was Friday. We left a open trade. Let's see how that is playing out, and hopefully you guys did cut on it. So let's jump into my charts. All right, this is the trade where we left out. Let's go and watch our video here. Let me turn on captions in here for a little second. Let's say just a little bit of leverage, which technically is not TC8, is laddering in. Not sure you guys can hear it, but this is just basically looking for my secondary entry here because we're looking at those order blocks and basically refining that, considering that we wanted to go with 2/2 of an entry just in case we have a weak down to 1/2 of a position on retracement, right? Maybe just sliding down to the bottom of that order block. So let's see here where we marking that secondary entry, right? So first half right there, right? Second half something here. That's where we are calculating our stop loss. So we're going all the way down here and then giving it a little bit of that wiggle room. Bigger room says, but wiggle room. So that is basically what we left out, right? So let me count here. So there's 1, 2, and then I think that itty bitty candle starting, right? So let me just get it right here. Oh, but that's basically if we enter for secondary entry, right? All right, let's compare that to where we are. So first, we need a reference point, right? So let's see our dynamic reactor. First we're going through, secondary going through, and then the third one and last one, right? So first one going through, secondary going through, and this third one that was a tiny itty bitty candle. What happened in there? Well, then we set up our entry here, and guys, you cannot tell me that we absolutely nail that entry. So congratulations to you guys if you jumped into this trade. Also, congratulations to have the spirit of risking it. Remember, not only risking it like going to the casino, there is a job behind it, investigation, right? Getting out your emotions, get together. Like I was, you know how I enjoy going to this kind of trades, right? I mean, you saw me on Friday, how excited I was. This is every single trade that I do, right? So it is, it's a lot of fun for me to trade. Even if I'm alone, I do all of those stuff, right? But also, just so you know, I get a much more excited when you're around you guys because you guys are so much better. So let's see, testing, what is up? Do we have a, yeah. What KDGT? Oh, do we have KDGT? Hey, KDGT, what is up? Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the class. So let's see. So basically, that's what we have. This is where we left out. Let's just zoom out to see how that played out. TP number 1, of course, because it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. And then what we do, we look for a couple of reversals in here. It looked like a little bit of those smaller candles. So for me, that was a TP number 1. What also happened in here, we were rejecting nothing that we did not expected, right? In fact, we were also expecting this drop back down. Did not happen quite exactly here. We flat out, right? So that's why we have that little bit of that retracement. Then TP number 2 right there on that week. And then what happens, I called out my trade. Just so you know, I called out my trade. Am I regretting deeply right now? Oh man, I am, because I don't know, man. I think I need to watch my own setups and watch the retracement, the replay of my own show, buddy. Because I mean, I told you guys that we were expecting that diamond, right? And what am I gonna be doing on that diamond? Well, then going back in. And what did I do right here? Remember, usually looking for that indecision candle. We already have the diamond. One more candle. Well, then that was my entry. Did not went in, so I need to wait for my possible re-entry. So far for me, this trade, it's over. If it's not for you, remember, always move your stop to entry. Let me unlock this. All right, let's move our stop to entry, right? It's about time to move our stop to entry and start waiting. All right, how many TPs you took? Hopefully either 1 or 2. Whatever, it's great, right? If this is your secondary one, leave your stop to entry and then trail the rest all the way to Valhalla, right? There's nothing to lose now. You already have taken some profits. You already are in the green, so there's nothing to lose, only profits. I would advise, and not as a financial advice, just as a friendly advice, right? To look at our volatility zones. There's a lot of volatility here, right? But I'm looking at something that is not quite that exaggerated, something like that, and that is a 1.5%. So I would actually be trailing this at a 1.5%. So that means that my stop loss, once it hits here, well then it's gonna be pushing this as it goes up, right? So basically starting it right now, and your stop loss, it's gonna be moving. Oh, come on, let me select it. There we go. So basically trailing, how it works, you set your entry point for when your percentage is going to be acting, 1.5, something around that. And then as the price action goes up, it will be pushing the top of it, right? It's going to be pushing the top of it. Thus, your stop loss also will be going up with it. So basically, this is trying to rescue me maybe from a little swing down in here, something like that, and then a continuation. That's why I'm doing that 1.5%. Other than that, let me just get rid of this. Let me also clean up my setup in here, because today we're doing just setup. So also guys, prepare your assets, because soon enough I'm gonna be requesting you guys as many assets as you want, because we are going nuts today, right? We want to start looking into how many positions maybe we can take on, or what we could be looking into, right? It's not that I'm going crazy, but also we are bouncing off support. Let's do a little recap before we go on, all right? Let me see, do I have anything important? No, let's just get rid of this. All right. Oh, I did actually erase something important if I'm not mistaken. Well, it is okay, just like this. Let me just get rid of this. Right, bear here with me. 1 second. All right, much better. So we had a trend line somewhere around here, right? I mean, that's a pretty neat trend line. Perfect. I think that actually represents very precisely how that trend line breaks out, right? So it's not about the breakout, basically creating a lower low, not technically breaking the actually important part, all right? So if it's not breaking the important part, remember when we compare it to this area, right? Something around this. Let me show you. Perfect. What happened here? This is the meaningful part. Did we break through that meaningful part? Not really. Almost we did, right? So did we create a lower low? Well, yes, based on the previous lows, right? Did we create a lower high? Yes, based on the previous highs, right? But then what happened? A higher low. So maybe, and just maybe, we could be looking into something like this, all right? So once again, we've been talking about this. This is not the end of the world, but we need to absolutely be looking for topping scenarios, right? If for any reason we start seeing that topping scenario, guys, no more playing around. We're going bearish and we're shorting the thing, all right? But till that happens, we're still bullish. So let's see. KDGT going around spending food. I see. Love the top ropes. KDGT. All right. I see. Hype. FTT TRX. Perfect. Hashtag F Ethereum. Love it, JR. Absolutely. We're going to be taking a look at those. Let me just write them in here so I don't lose them. So it's going to be hashtag F Ethereum. So ETH. Also hype. FTT, really? And TRX. Oh man, you really know where to push my buttons, buddy. But that's all right. I'll look into those. I'll mix them. All right, we're gonna be going to maybe one of those and then one that I really like, because oh man, you're just like giving me that medicine that kids don't like, right? Oh dude. All right. Nonetheless, TRX, I hate it, man. I hate it, but I use them almost every single day because it's cheap, it's fast, and it's not cluttered. Nonetheless, what can I tell you? Right? We trade what it makes us money, not if we like it or not, right? Rather if we like it or not. So let's see, what else do we have, guys? If I'm missing out your request, please let me know. I want to get as many setups as possible. XRP, absolutely. Let's do XRP. There you go. There's one that I like. So let me do this. All right. Let me just change XRP. Oh shit, I sent it. Oh, sorry. That was not meant to be sent. Nonetheless, let me copy and paste it. This is just my notations. I'm shorting it. That makes you happier, lol. Oh, yes, it does. It does, my friend. It does. All right. Thanks for clarifying, though. So also XRP. All right, perfect. I think we got enough for the rest of the hour. Nonetheless, guys, if you want anything else, let me know. Please add me at Piper Academy so the thing goes bright yellow and I can see it, because sometimes I get a little bit into my charts too much, right? So help me out there, and if I can, I'll squeeze it as much as I can. Someone banned OC. That's you very my pleasure. Jesus, save 77. Got it. Sen, oh man, Jesse, you do know me. Sen, bro, not doing great. It's a shitty coin. Oh, it pains me to say it, so right. That is, I believe, because it did not have the attention. I think that was one of those coins that slip under the road, but not counting the attention. It's not that the coin is shitty, not really. The price action of it is, but the coin itself, it really got me very, very nice. All right, Sen, hashtag Sen, absolutely, my friend. Let's do Sen. All right, I got it right here. let's get it started. So let's start with Bitcoin. We go into the rest of the altcoins in a killing frenzy setup, right? Did it again. Why? What did I do again, man? Spaghetti for you. What did I do again, KDGT? Let me know. Tag me so I can read it. All right, let's go. Right here, you got me just looking back at it. All right, so basically going back into green, that's fantastic. Oh, the shoot. Sorry. I just got to say it. All right. Something important, it is that on the 4 hours, well, our DCA zone already had called it out. Remember, is it a good zone to DCA? I told you 1 or 2 more candles or 3 candles, and that will be it for me. We actually nailed it in this case. Stop DCAing in for the trade because we're on the 4 hours. Let's take a look at daily. How is it playing out? How is it looking? It is the blue here, right? So as you can see on the daily, we are blue. So that means that we could be going up for then the retracement, maybe creating that double top. But remember, if we even create even a lower high, this is not gone. This is not all lost. Why? Because we did not make a lower low in here, which means we can still do a higher low in here and still a lower high, basically start creating a pattern in here, right? A triangular pattern. This is going for the future. We still need to wait for it, right? But so far, we have the ability or the possibility to hit somewhere around 108 or 109 if we are picky about it, all right? Let's see what else we have. Maybe a little bit lower than 109. Yeah, maybe 107. 108, yeah, let me recall 108, just in between those areas. Yep, let's go for 108, just not to be so like dead center in this line. Let's see what else we have. There we go, beginning at 107, center at 108, 109. I think we got it. We got this, right? So we have 2 order blocks in here. Both of those are bearish. Nonetheless, they act as a support when they are below of the price action, as a resistance when they're at the top of the price action. That only means that if we're highly bearish or more bearish, that just means that it's going to be pushing it to the downside a little bit faster or bigger. In this case, since this is support, this is going to be pushing it to the upside, not with that much strength. But who cares? It only needs to slightly push it up, so the magnetic force of this order block acts upon the price action, right? And once bing bong, until one of those start losing its volume, right? And then what happens? Well, then we either break it out or break it out, all right? So still, we need to be on it, because remember, another important thing, it's going to be, where is our dynamic reactor? Remember, we're also considering 94, 93, 97-ish, around that area, right? For a bounce or for a full retracement. Let's go back on what happened here, right? And let me show you once again before we move out of this. Let's go for that little box, right? It's not. Let's just measure this. In this case, on daily, it's slightly bit different because we're not measuring from the breakout retest. In this case, we need to measure from here, which is fine, right? And what happens all the way here? Let me just keep it as is and look at that. We did hit eventually that half zone, all right? If we measure as before, if we measure from here, we actually hit it faster. We actually hit it around here, right, at the dynamic reactor. And I think this could be it or happening again. Remember, we could also be faking out and playing out faster for a sweep of the lows, maybe creating a divergence as we go low, right? Maybe getting some of those candles right down here for DCAing, and then off we go to the upside, right? So let's keep that into consideration. Let's do one last measure. I know we already have done this several times, but I'm gonna be going in here since we turned out bullish. So where do we go? There it is, all the way at the top. All right, where is the half of a position? Right here at 97. You see what am I marking that? We also have a order block in here and dynamic reactor coming in strong. So for me, for the short term short term on daily, right, which could be between, I don't know, maybe a month, all right, we're going to be looking for not bottoming or topping patterns. What does that mean? If we create a head and shoulders, which I believe that's what we're going to be going for, like this, we could be breaking through, okay, that going for that support, break to retest, off we go, maybe back at support, and then shift back up. Remember what we learned on Friday, right? The Bollinger Bands, how the Bollinger Bands are not quite there yet, telling us that we're at the top of the price cycle, which means, and I need to take that into consideration, that I'm not going to be very bearish at this point. At least I'm going to try to catch the dead cat bounce, just as we caught it in here. All right. So despite we're looking at 97, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're not completely bearish. Maybe just short-term bearish or short-term ranging. All right. Based on that, that's what we're going to be looking at for trading. So other than that, looking for the 1/3. What is our 1/3? Somewhere around here. Have we got it? Let me see. Well, very, very, very close to where we hit. So basically we did. Let's call that out as we have, right? And then, well, the next point will be 97-ish, right? So now that we have a basic understanding, and let's do a quick recap. So what are we expecting right now? We're expecting a ranging scenario, all right? What we don't want to see. We don't want to see a double top and then losing the 0 line, even if that happens, right? Or we don't want to see a head and shoulder and losing the neckline in here. Even if that happens, the next area of entry, it's going to be somewhere around between 94 and 97. We're going to be defining that on the 4 hours. Hey, username, how's it going, brother? Welcome, bro. Nice to have you around. All right. So after that, right, let's get it into maybe the 4 hours. We'll maybe try to, or I will be trying to get back in here, make sure that we're not on logarithmic. Perfect. For me, it seems like a soft order block, still with bullishness. So maybe I could go back inside in here. I'm going to add an alert, and then I'm going to be moving that alert as we go. All right. Let me turn this off. Let's also turn this one off. Let's see what else do I have. Where is my SMA combo? Here above. Perfect. That means that it is acting as a resistance. Oh boy, maybe we can reject. If we reject right now, let me check out my oscillator. It's not looking that we're going to reject. Maybe we can be piercing through. There's a caveat here. If this thing makes a big candle all the way up, right? But we do not make 1 or 2 candles in here actually making a breakout, that means that it's taking that much energy to break through that SMA combo, and we're not going to be able to make it. Therefore, the next area of entry right back at 102,600. All right. But so far, it is indicating me that we might have that enough strength to break through. When am I going to be changing decisions? When I see this big body candle or the next one going to reversal zones, and then in here not really making that big candle, right? What is a big candle here? Something like that, something like that, something like that, something like that, all right? In fact, something like that, all right? So I want to see that big candle going through, right? Going through, and then maybe one candle, one indecision candle at the top, right? Something like this. And then 1 or 2, 3 more candles going back down for me to have a chance to burst back up, all right? Hopefully we are clear on what we're looking at so far. Let me see what else do I have. Perfect. On my oscillator, I'm having a very nice break to the upside. Again, this is going to be working the same way. So far, this is telling me that we are going to be breaking through, all right, so far. But also, that means that, and let me see if I can see it. All right, perfect. I think that we can see it in here. And, all right, I think that we might still got it. Let me see if I can have some closer or tighter All right, I think this will be it. Perfect. If we analyze how the oscillator played out in here, and this is exactly the same thing that we were talking about with our, that was, where is it? I will say it here. All right, with our, what is it, RSI prime? Well, then first of all, we have a goose head. All right, goose head usually means a little bit of a retracement, farther move to the upside. That was itty bitty tiny, right? And then for the farther move to the downside. Nonetheless, if we take a look at what's going on in here, or better yet, was it looking like in here, right? Look at that. Where was the top of that candle? Where was the beginning of that candle? Let me zoom in so we can see it much better. All right, the top of that candle, the bottom of that candle. All right, this candle. What's going on at that point with my oscillator? We did not have anything of this. We were pushing high with this, right? So this was telling me, hey, seems like we're gonna be breaking through that resistance, right? So breakout retest, what happens? We maxed out. We did not have enough chance to put a big candle, because in this case, if we would have put a big candle in here, the retracement would have been on the support, right? And then off we go. But what happened? The oscillator moved much more quickly than the price action to the upside. You see? So when you see that, it's time to start changing your opinion, just so you know. Because sometimes you can say, yeah, I estimate that we're gonna have enough time. But then the oscillator start pumping, and the damn thing, it doesn't move, right? The price action is still kind of like static, right? Or hovering over the same price zone. So I don't want you guys to get caught on that if this is the case. So keep an eye on your oscillator, all right? Let me bring up our next oscillator. Well, this is not time to buy. It was somewhere around here. So maybe just keep pushing through. Nothing really, so nothing special. Let's take a look at our linear regression. Our linear regression, I want to see, look at that, we're going to our zero line. Let's pair zero lines in here, all right? So we can see it much better. We have a reversal. Perfect. Hopefully it's not something like this. This is not a wimpy reversal, right? But we already have a reversal, and we're building up on hopefully a green mountain, all right? Something like that, hopefully. So what do I need to see with my ADX? In fact, you know what? Because I'm drawing on ADX, let me change the ADX color. Guys, let me know which color do you like. I'm gonna go for now, let's see, maybe a brighter purple or something like a pink. Yeah, let's go for that. Red, nah, not really. Maybe this. Yeah, I think that will be it. I think that looks cool, maybe. It's getting too entangled. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. That's how it works. All right, perfect. So what do we want to see on this line in here? We want to see, remember, going down, it's negative, right? So that means no strength, right? So if we have a positive volume here, a positive mountain, and then we keep going downwards, we're gonna be flat in here, maybe slightly going up. And how does a up-ranging scenario usually plays out? To the downside. So that's what we don't want to see. Hey, Mark Dodds, welcome, my friend. Nice to have you, brother. All right, hey, Trading Tuition, just seeing you here. Thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Thanks you so much. So what do we want to see on that purple line? We want to see that purple line get to the zero line and then go up, just like it happened in here. Look at how is it pointing up as we have a green setup in here, right? That's what we want to see. Let me see if I can catch something. All right, so something like that. Not really here, maybe. All right, this is what I'm a bit afraid of, that we keep pushing downwards as we keep moving upwards, because that usually it's a very vanilla movement. In this case, we barely made it above, right? We oscillated, we corrected over time, and that gives us the next chance to pump it up, right? But so far, well then, we want to see that flip on that purple line, all right? So another important thing is that we're breaking back above that area of range. That's very fine. That's completely fine. And that usually indicates that if we are able, once again, to put up that big candle, then when we retrace, we have a big base to then move to the upside. All right, I think we're clear on what's going to be our next possible reentry. In fact, I'm going to be moving this a little bit higher, somewhere around there. And then also I'm going to be adding one more in here, one more alert. Be in this lows right down here, just to compensate if for any case we have a major drop to the downside. All right, so let's get started and let's go with hashtag F Ethereum. All right, help me out in here, guys. Hashtag F Ethereum in the chat. So I got the pump up in here, and I don't keep hating on it. All right, let's go for Ethereum. Just want to kind of look at how my things we're looking at. Perfect. Ethereum doing fantastic on the 4 hour, basically mimicking Bitcoin. We have our SMA. We already have broken SMA. This is great. That's exactly what I want to see on Bitcoin. All right, something important, right? And let's maybe on hashtag F Ethereum. All right, but usually, or not usually, sometimes we're gonna be some altcoins playing out faster than Bitcoin. So seeing Ethereum breaking through that SMA combo that we have like that, exactly like what we're expecting, that give me not only the chills, but also the high hopes, all right? So very excited to see maybe we can do something, despite also remember Monday is usually when they get you, right? Usually the fake movement. I'm gonna be moving my alert right back in here. I'm gonna be looking for what is up next. So do we have some support resistances? Well, in this case, I'm looking for some engulfing candles, something, nothing really happening there. Support and resistances, perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. Big body candle going through not only a SMA combo, but also going through a resistance in here, right? Which now can become a support. Another important thing is that I can have multi-candle breakthrough. That is also important, right? So as we have multi-candle support, well then, breakthrough, our next support becomes much more cleaner and clearer. So that's exactly what I want to see. Let me see if we have somebody new. CryptoCon Mindset, welcome my friend. BC Port Corp in the house. Welcome, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Great to have you around. All right. So for Ethereum, are we looking for entries on shorts or longs? JR, brother, what are you looking for, man? I'm very eager to see what you have to say about this. Are you looking for maybe short? Looking for a long? What are you looking for in there? In the meantime, we have a little delay between when I say things and when you read it, guys. So I'm gonna keep going, but I'm gonna be keeping my eye again on that chat, right? So far, I see that we're back at back at green, all right? Let me see my oscillators. Oh, look at that. This is important. Look at how I'm about to jump into maybe a reversion or reversing zone, all right? Something like this. I wouldn't like that, but that's how it's playing out. So can I maybe make it through? If I make one more big candle in here, most likely I will be maybe creating something like that, like a goose head within that movement that creates that further breakout higher, and then going back to visit dynamic reactor and also our SMA combo. I think the SMA combo and the dynamic reactor, they're gonna gather together somewhere in here. The question is, can we hold enough something somewhere around here before the retracement? I think the answer is gonna be yes, all right? But again, it's not about thinking. So shorting Ethereum, all right, let me see. I absolutely think that is possible, but I think it's dangerous, but maybe you have something in between your fingers, my friend. You have a 93% accuracy, bro. That is just fantastic, man. So what can I tell you? Your numbers speak for yourself, brother. All right. So the point in here is that we can hold it above, right? So when it comes back down, it comes back to an area of support. If we're having the retracement first in here, and for that, let me see my... Perfect. We're just breaking through here, all right? Even if it's low in here, well, then I want to see that moving upwards. So there is a chance in here, and it might not be what you think so, but look at that. Just like we explained with Bitcoin, right? Let's pair first our zero lines. Perfect. Let's go and now describe the power line, right? So the ADX. So if we break through the zero line, the purple line, right? And we keep moving like that to create a very small green mountain, all right? We are most likely gonna be ranging slightly up, all right? Couple of candles, because remember how fast this played out, all right? Yeah, in this case, then we have a big reaction because of what? Look at how it was pointing. It was pointing up our strength, all right? So I want to see as fast as possible that movement. If we, for the contrary, break back down and we have another diamond and then we go up in our purple, that's what I'm going to be looking for, a short. But so far, I think we're early on that short. Maybe my stop loss could be coming in and hunt me because I just have empty space in here. So where do I actually go through, right? I mean, it's not completely empty space. If I really wanted to, I can bring up a couple of supports, right? Supporting here. Maybe another supporting here, right? Because it takes this other high, right? But we're kind of like on it. So, I mean, if we confirm the lower low, then we would need to confirm the lower high. Sorry, if we confirm the lower high, then we need to confirm the lower low. Where is it, my lower low? I mean, I think it's obvious that we can be looking at this zone, but this zone will not be making a lower low. In fact, I believe our lower low will be here, which is only gonna be making the bottom of a range, all right? So when do we break that range? We break that range when we, and I would love to see that we bounce in here, we bounce back in here, we are below our dynamic reactor, and then when we're creating a meaningful low than this one, and then we create a meaningful low than this one, that's when I start looking for maybe a short, right? At this point, I mean, I don't know the future, right? But at this point, I think we're a little bit early. Not fully take me on that. Remember, your numbers speak for yourself, right? For themselves. But so far, I believe that we need a little bit more structure. So maybe, I mean, you know that drill, right? Maybe you can lather in here and maybe do some low leverage shorts in here. That also depends on Bitcoin. In Bitcoin so far, well, we are resistance, absolute truth, right? But also we are just getting started here, so maybe we can do that up ranging to the trend line in here, right? The trend line that we've also been visiting somehow. So again, maybe a little bit more time for then the rejection right down here. So I would say that between today and tomorrow, they're gonna gather as many longs as they can and then drop back down the price. So that's what I'm thinking. Ovi is trying to wreck me again. Username blasphemy. He says, "Oh, CJR told me you are a cowgirl guy, but I told him no way." You're Brownswell. Oh man, you guys are just amazing. I love you guys. All right, let's go for the next one. I'm gonna intercalate this with Litecoin. I like Litecoin. And by the way, is one of the ones that gave me a kick in the butt last time that we set it up. It did not hold, man. It did not hold. And worst of it, It did move to the upside, but at the same time, we have a very dramatic punch downwards. I mean, the diamond actually gave it away as we were dropping below our ranging zone. Let me just get it much easier here. All right, let me just clear this up. And now I might have a chance in here. Why? Look at that. We have our reversal channel. We have a little ranging here, coming down, little hiccup, V-shaped recovery, high, which I don't think this is the high, but maybe high, not high in the previous range. But I think this is gonna be making it as the high, so be careful. We could be shorting this part as we go to the dynamic reactor. I'm gonna be looking for peak performance. Where am I gonna be setting my alert? Maybe somewhere around here, or even lower, somewhere around that area. Let me clear this up. Let me bring on my indicators. Oh, look at that. Right to the resistance, man. Shout out to Chart Prime. All right. And then maybe we can find our ranging scenario. All right. And this comes from Wyckoff. So just so you know. So far, that's what I'm seeing. Other than this is just a flat pause of bearish continuation. So in that case, we also need to make our trend lines. All right. So let me make a trend line in here. And then, of course, I'm going to be adding it. Add alert in here. So let me lock it first and then add an alert. I'm not going to spend too much time on Litecoin because we have a couple of other stuff. Let's do hype then. Well, let's do XRP because I have it right here to my right. Let's do XRP. All right. At this point, that was a great entry. Perfect. Taking profits. Took us out. We were expecting maybe the other way around, but still played out fantastically. Let me just remove this. Let me start turning things off. And once again, what do I see? Look at how we're pointing downwards on strength on the purple one, but we are positive on the mountain. What are we doing? We are ranging slightly upwards ranging. You see the same thing that I was expecting maybe on Ethereum, right? So just so you know, this is what I'm seeing. I need OC gamer tag for Mario Kart. Oh man, we need to do Mario Kart. Yeah, bro. I don't have Mario Kart. Maybe I can download it. What console are you doing it? Is it like Nintendo Switch or something? I don't own a Nintendo Switch. I have a Legion and a PC. Does that work? Let me know. Oh, Road N64, brother. I still have my N64 up and running, but I don't know how we can maybe play it along. Do we have any emulators? Let me know. Let me know. I'm all for it, brother. I'm all for it. 64 Mario Kart. I'm beast, bro. I am a beast, just so you know. All right. So this is still white coffee. Remember, little range coming down, little range, V-shaped recovery, high, not higher than the previous range. We define our ranging zone, and we're just doing fantastic, right? That's it. On XRP, we are bearish, by the way, and we are bearish because we are below dynamic reactor. There is an important factor in here. When we're bearish, let me see also my oscillator. When we're bearish, all right, we usually look for bearish flags that ended up falling downwards, all right? But if we zoom out in here, we see that we are into a very, let me do this first. This is a megaphone or a range up, but into a very big or very large, come on, move out of the way. There we go. Ranging zone, right? So it's very ugly ranging, I know. So what are we going to be doing here? As always, going back to basics, right? Yeah, we already know that this is Wyckoff, but remember what we always do. We throw our trend lines. So until, let me just move this slightly off the way. Let's add an alert, create an alert, right? And then until I don't see a breakout, where's my resistance in here? So let me add another alert in there, all right? And then retest somewhere around here, right? I'm not gonna be turning bullish on XRP. Let me see if this matches up with something else. Well, a lot of resistance at the top, of course, right? Still a very nice area of support. So it makes sense to go to the order block where the bulk of the resistance is at, and then dropping back down. We need to be careful with these drop downs, all right? Because this could also be a flat pause of bearish continuation. Yes, I know I'm above the zero line, right? But I'm not anywhere close to my dynamic reactor, which is this one, right? So I need to be basically one-on-one, so very close to my dynamic reactor, right? And then breaking through, so the strength of my oscillator can be reflected on making that big body candle through that dynamic reactor for then a big retracement, right? Or the next possible retracement. Brains, what's up? Welcome. I see you there. Let's see what else. We have Ethereum, we have XRP. Let me start removing them. Let's go for a hype. And you said you are shorting hype, or how does it go? Is it hyper liquid, right? Let's see. Oh, well, all right. I think you might get one right now. That is very on spot. Why? Because we have a dead cat bounce, or almost a dead cat bounce, right? This is not confirmed. So we are almost at rejection zones. Guys, give me 1 second. My phone is just ringing like crazy. 1 second, please. About that. Second. All right, and then okay, perfect. So this is it. So we're going back up in here, maybe for a dead cat bounce. We are already look at this top, look at this top, look at this bottom. Of course, that we have a resistance in here, right? At this point, resistance, because that's where we're hitting to. Let me see. Yep, we do have a resistance in there, right? I don't know if we're gonna be hitting this top delta. I don't think so. Because we could be at any point be flipping back down. There is a real chance that we still make it right into a lower high in here. Where at? Let's see if we have something else around here. Well, then we have this one. Well, we are right on the golden line. What else? Right there. Nothing really too close. So we either bounce now. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, let's go for the center of that soft order block. All right. Maybe this could be just slightly more movement to the upside. So I could be looking for a possible short scenario somewhere around there. There we go. I think this is going to be it, in the middle of the middle. That's it. Stop loss at my previous highs, which is also top of that order block, maybe giving it a little bit of a wiggle room, which gets me all the way up here. And if I'm right there, maybe if I'm going for a double top, let's just add that security wiggle room, just slightly bit more, and then aiming for a bottom in here. So is this above one? Yes, it is. Still, I would proceed with caution with 1/2 of an entry. When maybe I could be head switching in here, if for some reason I go up, I retrace, which is what I want to see, and then I do a little bit of a hiccup here, and then I make a rejection close to my zero line or at my zero line, and then that's in here on this little range. That's when I'm going to be wanting to jump back in, because in this case it's going to be a flat pause of bullish continuation. All right, but so far this is the plan for the short in here. So I think this could be a good one. We're on rejection zones again, but and also we are very close to areas of rejection with our resistances all the way there. So let's see. This is hype. So far, hype already gone. And let's do FTT. Let's do SEN just to mix it up. And it is crypto. There it is. You see it. I got it marked. I was not lying. You see, I still hold my Sen, just so you know. Not all of it, but just enough. All right, Sen. Oh, look at that. Beautiful Sen. But, I mean, it's at the very, very bottom. I mean, this is really, really, really disappointing, right? Still, I mean, when I see this, guys, just buy low, sell high. That's it. I mean, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. We have highs, 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 highs. That's it, right? And then we have low, 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 lows. That's it, right? And then what we do, we buy low, we sell high, we keep 50% of that entry or 25 or whatever you want to keep, and then we rinse and repeat. We buy low, we sell high, we buy low, we sell high. I would not be shorting this just now. We're not quite there yet, right? And you see that we usually actually get into the zone for the reversal, right? This is kind of like an excuse because we're having something weird happening. And because this weirdness, this alteration, I think maybe some influx of money might be happening. So I would not be shorting this area. I'd rather wait for breakout retest, my re-entry as we come back up, right? And then off we go. I'm going to be setting my alert in here, and I'm going to be aiming to my next resistance. Why? Because if I keep there let me just clear this up. If I keep it here, it's going to be ringing and ringing and ringing basically every single minute. So let me see. Do I have any resistance? Slightly bit upwards here. Ooh, very far away, so not really working for me. Let's see anything else. Areas of smart money entry, big chunk of smart money entry, not really working for me at this point. Let's see what else we have. Our VPVR, this one also aiming at the same zone. It's just been ranging for so long. FIBP, all right, FIBP is gonna be our savior here. So let's add our line at the possible target right there. In fact, slightly built below, just so we have an early called out. And then, of course, when we get to the POC in here, that might be my early re-entry in here in case I want to re-enter right there. We have what Sen, it's already called out. So let's do FTT. And I think that would be it for today. FTT. Crypto. What asset? Really? FTT, brother? I don't know, man. That's just funny, I guess. Let's see. All right. FTT BitGet maybe. I think I got it. Here it is. All right. FTT. All right. Oh. Well, not that funny anymore, isn't it? All right, still this almost the same thing. Something that I don't like about this, it is, remember, trendline breakout. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, your entry below the dynamic reactor, not looking good. We can still make, of course, a bullish flag in here, right? We can still make a bullish flag. It is less probable, but still, let's explore that possibility. So we have a support line in here. Let's go for our other resistance that is going to be right here. All right, and what I want to see for a possible long, it's going to be breakout retest, my possible entry. We have bullish divergence, so breakout retest, right? And then we go for the next one. I actually will rather just go in here, all right? But so far, that's what I got. What I'm gonna be doing is adding an alert all the way down here in case we lose the support. If we lose the support, I'm gonna go for the retest and short it to previous lows, or at least to this area. So back in here, going forward, maybe double bottom, and that's when I'm gonna maybe hit switch in there. All right, but so far FTT not looking that great. So that's all for today, guys. Let's go to solo cam. I think that was a fantastic day today, guys. Hopefully you guys are up and pumping on this Monday. Hopefully it's a great morning for you guys, as is it for me. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And also, no KYC on liking and sharing, so consider doing so. It really helps with the algorithm. And other than that, guys, see you guys tomorrow. By the way, this whole week, remember, trading week. All right, so hopefully we do a lot of money. So guys, thank you so much, and see you guys tomorrow.